Hello and welcome to TV9 News. I'm your host Ashish Parekh. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic might well be the biggest global crisis right now, but it has triggered a new crisis which is growing in scale and will directly start affecting you. In fact, it has already started affecting you. So, what is this new global crisis that I'm talking about and how exactly will it affect you? Let's find out. Everything we use, from the most common gadgets in our homes like computer, ACs or even your smartphones, all of these have an integral central component which is called a chip. Now, with advancement in technology, even auto manufacturers require chips to power their automated systems. And like I said, from the smartphone which is in your pocket to supercomputers or even luxury vehicles, everything these days runs on chips. They might be tiny in size, but chips are the building blocks and the core of any modern computation, which makes them a very crucial commodity in the modern world. But now there is a shortage of these chips, and it has reached a point where industry experts are terming it a crisis. So why is there a shortage of chips? Now, to start with, despite such a massive demand, there are only two major powerhouses in the chip making industry. One is the TSMC, which is the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, and the second is Samsung Electronics. Now, there are several reasons why we have reached a stage wherein there is a chip shortage across the world, and let's just discuss some of these points. First up, the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, while most companies operating remotely and even schools shifting online, there is an unprecedented surge in the sale of PCs, laptops, webcams and smartphones, all of which require chips. Now, this created a massive chasm between demand and supply, and the pandemic also threw every demand and supply projection under the bus. Second is the miscalculation by auto manufacturers. Now, as the pandemic progressed, the auto industry was hit hard and it had to eventually cut down on the production, and even in some cases, it had to halt production. Now, this meant that the auto industry did not really need many chips and hence it was pushed back in the queue. Then when the restrictions were lifted and the sales boomed, the auto industry realized that it wasn't really able to procure enough chips to keep up with the growing demand. So the shortage first started in the auto sector and now it has seeped into even basic consumer durables. Third reason is panic buying. Now, there were several reports from the beginning of 2020 that there could be a tight inventory in the future, and this even led to several manufacturers stockpiling chips. Then the rising US-China tensions meant that major Chinese smartphones and also tech manufacturers feared sanctions from the United States and started hoarding a lot of chips just in case the US cut off their supply from their primary suppliers. And also there are other factors like the surge in demand for 5G phones and also the deadly winter in Texas, which forced manufacturers to shut plants based in and around Austin. Now, all of these further widen the demand-supply chasm. So how will you be affected? Now, the prices for everything that uses a chip is going to go high. Now, smartphone and auto manufacturers are also delaying their launches, and all of this burden finally has to be borne by customers. So what's next? Now, it is unlikely that there will be an immediate solution to this, as the demand will continue to stay the same even if it does not rise further. Also, the geopolitics involving US and China is pretty much roiling the chip industry, and at the end of the day, the entire world is affected by this. But the question that you might be wondering about is, why don't we simply start setting up more manufacturing units? Now, this is because it isn't that simple. Chips have to be manufactured with extreme precision and under highly controlled environment. These are called fab units. Now, even specks of dust, earthquakes far away or even temperature spikes can in fact hamper any sort of production activity. Building one fab unit takes billions of dollars of investment and at least 2 years to start production. But this isn't the only constraint. The production of chips requires round-the-clock supply of massive amounts of distilled water and constant electricity, something which not many countries can provide. Also, even to get 90% of yield requires several years of expertise, and yield is basically your number of chips that are manufactured per batch. So where does India stand amid all this? Now, the Indian government has been dangling incentives for a long time now to attract semiconductor chip manufacturers. Currently, the Indian government is willing to offer $1 billion in cash to anyone who wants to set up a fab unit in India. Now, India also does not have a single fab unit except for the one in Chandigarh. Even that manufactures chips only for ISRO. So what do you guys think about this global crisis as far as chip manufacturing is concerned? Do let us know in the comment section below, and also do not forget to like, share and subscribe to TV9 News. Thanks a lot for watching.